Andrew Wood, and welcome to part 3 of Effective Email Marketing, best practices for how your club can get the most from its email. Now here's a power tip for you. Here's something we do internally with our own email marketing. We'll send out an email on Tuesday for Golf Operator Magazine or for one of my products, and we will look at the open rate and look at the response over a 24-hour period. On Wednesday, we'll go back into our email database, we'll remove all of the emails that were opened, and we'll resend the exact same email, sometimes with a different subject line, but usually with the same one, to the same list, but with all the people who opened it removed. And we get a tremendous response from this. For whatever reason, went in his inbox, didn't see it, didn't pay attention to it. So if we've got 10,000 people, let's say, we mailed on our email list, I think our email list is actually closer to 60, but just use 10,000 to keep the numbers straight. So if we got a 20% open rate, let's see, 2,000 people would see it. We take those 2,000 people out of the list. We'd be left with a list of 8,000 people. We'll resend to that list the following day, and we'll probably pick up another 1,000 people. And we've been doing this now for several years, and it's a very, very effective technique that really increases your response to any individual email, as you simply send it twice, but remove all the people who opened it the first time. On that note, let's talk about frequency. People always wonder, how much is too much? I've got clients that email once a month and ask me, is it too much? I've got clients that email once every 2 weeks and ask if it's too much, or once every day and ask if it's too much. So people are all over the map on this. And what I have come to the conclusion, having done all types of different experiments, is simply this. If you send out an email, something happens. If you don't send out an email, generally nothing happens. And I've done once a week, I've done once a day, I've done everything in between. And what I think is the best formula, and you've got to take into account where somebody is, what type of club it is, where it's geographically located, what country it's in. There are definitely some nuances, but what I think is a reasonable way to go is to email twice a week. The key is not the frequency, it's the content. If the content is good, if the content is engaging, educating, and entertaining, people will stay subscribed and they will continue to open your emails. If all you do is discount offer, offer, event, offer, they're eventually going to either unsubscribe or just stop opening your email. So the key is the quality and mix of the content. If they might be able to get a funny video, if they might see a funny picture, if they might get a joke, if they might get a golf tip, then they're probably going to open your email and they're probably going to keep on that list, because every now and then something gives them a chuckle or something is interesting to them. Again, it's all about the quality and mix of the content. If the quality and mix is good, then you can email people twice a week. Maybe off season, you might drop it down to 6 times a month. But remember, in the off season, and this is another mistake a lot of clubs make, they hibernate for the winter. The snow comes or the cold weather comes and they hibernate. They don't send out any emails. They don't re-up their listing. They don't send out membership offers. They don't have contests in the winter, photo without caption contests, opt-in contests, win a vacation to the sun contest. And this is a terrible shame, because you will always get the best response to email marketing in January, February, and March. Once the Masters comes around, the sun comes out all over the world and people are out on the golf course. The response to email marketing drops significantly after April. So you've got to use those winter months to replenish your lists and replenish your Facebook pages and build them up so that in the summer you can monetize them. And too many people ignore the winter and just start marketing when the snow melts. You don't want to do that. So what we have is a schedule where there's twice a week. And on top of that, you could also do a monthly newsletter. Again, it's all about the content. If the content is boring, if it's not engaging, if there isn't a good mix, then once a week could be too much. But with the content we have together, we have not seen open rates go down. because the content is high quality. I'm going to show you a couple of personal examples. Prior to Christmas, Fila emailed me every 3 days. Every 3 days I got an email from Fila telling me to buy something, and eventually I did. I bought. Now, why don't I unsubscribe? I don't unsubscribe because I like their brand, I like their clothes, I don't always buy, and I don't always open it. But every now and then I'll open it and they'll send me a promo code and I'll buy something. Brian Tracy emails me every single day. And if you haven't been subjected to anything by Brian Tracy, he's the smartest guy I've ever met in my life. Great guy, great content. I don't read the content every day, but I never unsubscribe because I know the content is good and I like the content. Every day he emails me, 365 days a year. Ferrari email once or twice a month, sometimes 3 times a month. Obviously, I'm interested in cars. I'm interested in the brand. I never unsubscribe, no matter how many times they emailed me. I want to repeat this one more time because it's so incredibly important. Make your email marketing a positive extension of your club's brand, of your club's experience, of your club's entertainment to add value to your players, prospects, members' lives. It's a very, very critical thing. And to do that, you've got to have an integrated plan. You've got to mix it up. You've got to be creative. And you've got to be consistent. You can't be doing a bunch of emails one week and then nothing the next week. You should be on a consistent, well thought out 90-day plan, or like I said, for our clients, we do 12 months in advance so that you don't have to run around coming up with these ideas. You have them laid out in a plan. You can look at them. You can show your staff. Everybody knows what's going on because everybody's got the playbook. And you can focus your time and attention on servicing your clients rather than coming up with all this stuff. So be consistent, mix it up, be creative, and make your email marketing a positive extension of your club's experience. Most clubs' email marketing is a negative extension of something rather than a positive one. So don't make that mistake. So in this last segment, I'm going to tell you one more really important thing, and that is the simple things you can do to get your email delivered, to beat the spam filters. Almost every computer now comes with a spam filter, and some of them are set to trigger very, very easily. And so we run every one of our outbound emails through a spam filter to test it, to see what words get it dumped into the garbage and what words get it through. Certain words spam filters don't like. And so every email we send out is tested before we send it out so that we dramatically increase the chances that email coming from our company will get delivered for our partner clubs. So let's look at some of the things you can do to improve the chances you don't get caught up in a spam filter. Number 1, avoid suspect spam phrases. There are hundreds you need to avoid if you want your emails to be read, but spam filters generally don't like the word free. Complimentary is better. You've won. Amazing. Special offer. Promotion. Anything that sounds hypey, most spam filters don't like, and you want to try and substitute a different word. Be very, very careful with your subject lines. Spam Assassin is particularly interested in subject lines. Here's a few no-no ones. Contains free in all caps. Starts with free. Has guaranteed. Starts with a dollar amount. Anything in all caps. Anything that talks about savings. Those are all things that trigger a negative response in programs like Spam Assassin. 3, use capitalization carefully. Capital letters are seen as yelling in emails, and spam filters don't like yelling. At all costs, don't use a lot of capital letters. I get emails in where they're all caps. They have no chance of getting through. Use colors judiciously and keep your HTML simple. Highly stylized formats can hurt your score. Realize that high art is likely to cost you something. A font color tag that isn't formatted quite right can cost you points, and if you're using special font colors that aren't in the normal plate, you're probably on the road to going into the trash. If you use multiple colors in an email, spam filters don't like it. 5, ask your reader to help. One of the simplest ways to increase your email open rate is to simply ask your readers to put them on your safe list, to go in there and check their mail so that when mail comes from your club, it doesn't get checked as spam. Message size is also important. Since a lot of spam messages are short and under 20K, Spam Assassin in general gives you credit for a message that's between 20 and 40K. So actually having a longer message actually gives you a better chance of not going in the spam filter. Always use a signature. Use a signature just like you would in a regular email. The more your emails look and feel like a regular email, the less chance they're going to go into the dump. Because if it looks like a regular email, it probably isn't spam. So use your normal business signature. At all costs, don't mention you're in compliance with spam laws, because only spammers put that on there that says they're in compliance with spam laws. Sometimes you get an email saying we are in compliance. Don't put that on there, because all it does is actually trigger a negative response. And finally, if you're not using our email product, make sure you get your email vendor to run all of your emails through some type of spam checker, whether there's lots on the market, I mean hundreds, but run your outbound emails through, and what it'll do is it'll give you a report saying this phrase is suspect, change it, or this word is suspect, change it, or this headline is bad, change it. And so it actually tells you what you need to do to help get your mail delivered. So it's really a good thing to do. Best practices is every outbound email should be ran through some type of spam checker. Now here's something very, very exciting that few clubs ever dream of. What if I told you you could make an extra $10, $20, even $50,000 a year for your club simply from your email database? Now, obviously, if you're a private club, you're probably not going to do this. But if you're a daily fee club, if you're a golf resort, if you're a packaging company, if you're a driving range with a huge database of players, there are people who want access to those exact same demographics that you have. If you happen to be a resort and you happen to have a list of 50,000 people, and most of those people are between 40 and 65 years of age, and most of those people have a household income in excess of $50 or $75 or $100,000, you have an incredibly valuable asset in your email database. Now, I should be quite clear here. The last thing you're going to do is sell your email database. The last thing in the world you're going to do is give your database to somebody else to send out a mailing. But what you can do is you can give highly controlled access to your database to other people in return for either cash or favors. And we've been doing this up in Michigan for many years, first at Garland and then at Treetops. 1 year at Garland, I was able to get $600,000 worth of free golf vacations from 10 different resorts down south, simply for the privilege of those resorts being able to put an offer in our email newsletter. $600,000 worth of vacations. And we took the vacations and we used the vacations to help sell our outing business. And that strategy alone took our outing business at Garland from $398,000 to $1.7 million in just 4 years. And now we still have that same opportunity, obviously, at Treetops. So I might go to a client down south in Florida, or a client in Arizona, or a client in Scotland. And I just said to my client in Scotland last week, I'd like you to give us 6 Scottish golf vacations where you give us the room and the free golf. And in return, I will promote this contest to my 50,000 people in Michigan. This is great for both parties. My client in Scotland, the Green Hotel, Kinross, beautiful place, gets exposure to 50,000 Americans multiple times, because we send the email out 4 times. So that's a total of 200,000 eyeballs. They get free exposure for giving away a hotel room and a golf round that probably costs them $20 a night. And so this is a tremendously valuable thing. Even if you have a much smaller list, even if you're, if you're in Pennsylvania and you have 5,000 people on your database, there's a golf development in Florida that would love to get to those 5,000 people. And they may pay you. They may just come flat out and say, we'll give you $1,000 if you'll include our discovery package in your outbound email. Or they may say, well, we'll give you 3 or 4 discovery packages that you can give away at the member guest or auction them off for a charity. And there's also local vendors, the local BMW dealer, the local Cadillac dealership. If you call them up and say, look, we've got a database of 7,000 people. We'd like you to sponsor our email. And you put a banner ad on the bottom of the email. And for that privilege, we'd like $3,000 a year. Or we'd like you to give our Golf Pro a free lease on a car. I mean, obviously everything's negotiable. But what you have to realize, and what few people realize, is the incredible value of the opt-in email list that you have, and that you can monetize that list very controlled way, in a very professional way, and very few clubs are even doing it. Some clubs, their email list is probably worth more than their green fees. I mean, that list is valuable. So you ask yourself the question, who would benefit from having access to our members through our email database? Who would benefit from having access to our daily fee database? And generally, a resort down south, if you're up north, is always a good place to start. A casino is always a good place to start. A local car dealer, a local chiropractor. There's no reason you can't take an email database of 5 or 10,000 and easily make back 5, 10, 20,000, especially if you're taking some stuff on trade. And you take the trade, whether it be vacation or whatever else you trade, and use that to leverage prizes, or use that as an ethical bribe, if you like, for your golf outings, for your membership, and for other things you're trying to sell that are higher ticket items. So let's take a quick look. So right here, this is an email that went out from Golf Operator Magazine. You'll see at the top my friends at Club Profit Systems, which, by the way, is an excellent POS system. Even if they weren't advertising with me, I've been recommending them for years. And that ad is worth $1,000 a month to me. They pay $1,000 a month for that ad. And there's some other things included in the package, some Facebook posts. But primarily, they are buying access to my database of 60,000 people who are in the golf industry. Here's another example here from my email, Dynamic Revenue Services. They are paying to have a banner ad included in my outbound email that goes to 60,000 people, so they get painless access to my database. You can do the very same thing, and it doesn't have to be a huge hassle. You just pick 2 or 3 people. You don't have to be in the ad sales game. You pick somebody you know at the club, somebody that frequents the club, that you know likes the club. Maybe they've got a car dealership, and you just simply approach them and say, you know what? We have a database of 10,000 people, Ron, and I was wondering whether or not it might be a good place for you to advertise your car dealership. It's just simple conversation, 2 or 3 conversations. You can add $10,000 or $20,000 to the bottom line. So think about it. Okay, final thing I want to talk to you about is autoresponders. I mean, autoresponder technology has been around for a decade now, but it's just not used in the golf industry. And I know it's not widely used in the golf industry because I sign up for hundreds of things a year, downloads, wedding leads, membership leads. I mean, I just do it to keep myself up on what other people are doing. And what other people are doing is actually nothing. I'll go onto a club and sign up a membership lead, and literally I'll get back nothing, or I'll get back an email that says, without a header, that says, thank you for inquiring, someone will contact you. And 2 or 3 weeks will go by and nobody will actually call. So that's what tends to happen. And, I think even with the best intentions, clubs that don't have a full-time membership director or a full-time wedding coordinator, a lot of people wear that hat. Could be the pro, could be the greenkeeper, could be the chef, could be the manager. And a lot of times somebody will inquire on the website about membership, about an outing, about a banquet, and it just slips through the cracks. And so we want to remove that chance. We want to remove that possibility. We want to make sure that the follow-up you get is excellent. And the best way to do that is multiple communication. So, for example, if somebody were to request one of our wedding guides, or request an outing guide, or request information on a real estate development, we can pre-program our website so that it triggers a series of emails. So you don't have to worry whether Sheila's cat's at the vet and she can't get in today, or Sheila's pregnant and she won't be in for 6 months, or whatever happens that allows people to get distracted and not follow up on leads. You will at least know that if you get a lead through using an autoresponder, that they'll keep getting tickled, a tickler campaign is what some people call it, with an email. So let's take an example of a housing development. This is a campaign I ran several years ago, but it was so successful that I think it's a good example. So let's just take a look at how this would work. All right, so you can see here what we've got is once a person's expressed interest in a discovery tour or a wedding or a membership, an email goes out. It's an email that goes out that says, hey, thank you for downloading our information or requesting information. Now we're going to follow up with you and tell you more about it. So first email goes out, would obviously thank them. The second email goes out, tells them about the perfect Florida weather, 365 days a year. And then next month, what makes our club so special? It's our members. And then another one goes out telling them about the homes. Then another one goes out, tells them that the only thing that's missing is you. And this was actually part of a 12-month campaign so that when they initially requested info, 2 or 3 went out in quick succession, and then they went out every month. Here's another one for weddings. So somebody's downloaded the wedding guide. Now they get the first one telling them that our location, in this case Sierra Lakes, is a great place to have weddings. Then another one goes out within 2 weeks. Then another one goes out telling them a different facet. Then another one, and another one. And here's the beauty of this. Does this work? Their wedding business is up massively. They've almost doubled their wedding business since they put in a microsite for weddings, since they put in the wedding planner, and since they put in this email follow-up. And it's really, really effective. So obviously with real estate, the sale might be spread over a long period of time, so you want to keep in touch with them every month until they come on property. With a wedding, you're probably looking at a shorter period of time. You're going to probably contact them 4 to 7 times. 7 seems to be the magic number for most things, but you might want to contact them 7 times over a 12-week period. For membership, you might want to, you have a special offer, you might want to contact them 3 times over a month period. But whatever period makes sense, what you want to do is you want to think out what your offer is and then break it down into bite-sized points. So if they inquired about a wedding, you can say, great, we're going to contact you. We're going to send you information. Somebody should be calling you. In the meantime, I'll stay in touch and give you some additional information. And so then you can break it down. First email can be about location. Second email can be about food. Third email can be about great places to take wedding pictures. Fourth email can be about testimonials from happy people. And so you've got this continued follow-up, this continued trickle. And some people might say, well, Andrew, isn't that overkill? Well, I can tell you that the majority of clubs are officially on underkill because they send a pathetic little email out acknowledging it, and then nothing else ever happens. You will make far more money and you will be perceived to be far more professional with a series of autoresponders going out, staying in touch, reminding them that you're there, reminding them of the various services that you have. And hey, every now and then somebody's going to say, they can always unsubscribe, right? They can always click the button and stop getting them. And every now and then somebody's going to call up and say, take me off your list. I've booked a wedding somewhere else, or I've joined. That's okay. For the occasional person you will get that will say that, or the occasional nastygram you will get, you will find that the amount of people that are impressed with your follow-up, that are impressed that you stay in touch with them, that are impressed that you continue to reach out, will more than make up for that and will provide far more money than simply just letting them request information and never talking to them again. And of course, when they sign up, you click a button, you stop the autoresponder. Okay, the final thing I want to talk about in this long session on email marketing is reporting, what you can learn from your reporting, what you should look at, and what it will tell you by studying it. So obviously you're going to look at your delivery rate, you're going to look at your open rate, you're going to look at your opt-out rate, you're going to look at your pass-around rate, You're going to look at your heat map to see where about on your email people are clicking, what seems to be getting them excited. And you're obviously going to look at your bounce rate as well. The other thing we have, which most email systems don't have, which is really interesting, is an engagement report. And what the engagement report shows you over a period of time is it shows you your clientele broken up into those that open almost all of your emails, your A list, and then there's a B list that opens some of them, and there's a C list that don't open that many, and then there's a D list. And this is a very interesting report. We'll have a quick look at it here. And what this report tells you, and this is where it gets really cool, is you can click on that A list and immediately send out an email to all those people saying, hey, it's a sunny day, come out and play golf. And they'll come because they're your A list. They're the people who aren't really looking for a discount. They're your good top-of-the-line clients. And you take your C list in the middle, those people are going to need a bit more incentive. So you could send those guys either a discount on your green fee or today, take a free card. And then these people down here, they need to be really motivated because they rarely open your email and they rarely come to your course. Those people there could get a 50% off offer. So you're able to take, within your email lists, you can not discount to your better clients, give a little bit of a discount to the intermediate people, and the people at the end, give them a much stronger offer. So that's a really good report to look at so you can see which people are actually engaging with your email. Timing is one other thing that you really need to look at, and I've done a lot of experimentation with this. You know, there are definitely days that get better response than others. You know, being more in a business-to-business situation, Sunday's just a dead day for me. If I send out an email on Sunday, I get very little response. Saturday's not great for me either. Neither's Friday. But anywhere, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if I send out an email for my business, I get a great response. Friday, so-so. Saturday, Sunday, really quite poor. And in looking at our different clubs, you know, there are definitely some geo factors, there are definitely some seasonal factors, and there are definitely some timing factors. What you need to be doing is looking at your reports, seeing what days your people open more emails. Generally, middle of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, generally pretty good. Monday afternoon, pretty good. Monday morning tends to be not as good because people come in, they get all their emails up from over the weekend that perhaps they haven't looked at, so there's a deluge of emails. So if I send on Monday, I usually send afternoon. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday seems to be pretty good anytime. But you need to look at your own individual reports and see what days am I getting response, what time. You might find that you get a great response to an email going out at 10 o'clock in the morning, or you may find you get a better response to an email going out at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And you need to look at this because those percentage points, those open rates are going to drive revenue or hurt revenue if they're on the wrong side of the scale. So pay some attention to your timing and look what days, what times, what hours people are getting together. So we've covered a tremendous amount of material in these videos. You know, we've talked about email lists and how you got to keep them clean. We've talked about content. We've talked about subject lines. We've talked about beating spam filters. We've talked about mixing it up. We've talked about creativity. The bottom line is, most clubs basically wing their email marketing. Send out an email, we don't have any players this weekend. Send out an email, we've got a membership promotion. Send out an email, we don't have enough people signed up for dinner on Friday night. And it's a very shotgun way to do marketing, and it's not an effective way to do marketing. Your email marketing should be planned out at the very least for 90 days in advance. Our clients are given a 1-year email plan, which they can amend, they can add to, they can change, but they start off the year with a custom email plan for the year. And it's not just offers, you got to have that marketing mix. There's got to be the offers, the content, the contests, the videos, the jokes, the instruction. It's got to be integrated. And you have to integrate it with your other marketing. Your email has to be working in conjunction with what you're doing on your Facebook page. It has to be working in conjunction with what you're doing on your web page. There's no point sending out a winter trip to Scotland email, and then when they go to your web page, the hover ad and the banner ads say, you know, join for membership. You've got to have continuity with your offers, whether it be on social media, whether it be on your website, whether it be on your email. So very, very important to have a 90-day plan. 12-month plan would be better. Circulate that 90-day plan or that 12-month plan with your staff. Show them what's coming up and make sure that what's going on in email complements what's going on in social media, complements the banner ads and what's going on your website. That's how you drive the maximum possible response from your email marketing, is by having this continuity, this creativity, this mix of different ways of contacting your email list and extending your brand in a positive way and monetizing it at the same time.